Have you ever found yourself blaming circumstances, other people, or just plain bad luck for why your life isn't quite where you want it to be? We've all been there. It's so easy to point a finger at something outside of ourselves. But today, I want to share a story with you. A story that might just change the way you see those obstacles forever. This is a story about excuses, those invisible weights we carry, and how they can silently hold us back from reaching our true, incredible potential. Imagine a young man named Arav. He was just like many of us, full of ambition, with a heart full of big dreams. He pictured himself starting a successful business, mastering new skills that would open up doors, and fundamentally transforming his life for the better. The vision in his mind was crystal clear, vibrant, and exciting. But when it came to turning that vision into reality, something always got in the way. Every morning, Arav would wake up with good intentions, but by the end of the day, a familiar chorus of excuses would play in his head. I'd love to work on my business plan, but I just don't have the time after my job. Or, I want to take that online course, but I really don't have the money right now. And the most common one of all, I'm just too tired today. I'll have more energy tomorrow. Does any of that sound familiar? These weren't lies. He genuinely felt tired, busy, and financially stretched. But these feelings became walls, not hurdles. The days, filled with these seemingly valid reasons, melted into weeks. The weeks, each promising a fresh start that never came, turned into months. And Arav's dreams. They remained exactly where they were, as beautiful, distant dreams. His life was stuck in a loop of inaction, powered by the engine of excuses. One afternoon, feeling particularly frustrated with his lack of progress, Arav ran into an old mentor, a wise man who had always seen the potential in him. The mentor, with a kind and perceptive gaze, asked a simple but powerful question. Arav, I see the fire in your eyes, but your feet are standing still. Why are you not moving forward? Arav let out a heavy sigh, the weight of his frustrations pouring out. I can't, he replied, his voice laced with defeat. Life is just too hard. You don't understand. I have so many problems to deal with every single day. The timing is never right. The mentor didn't argue or dismiss his feelings. Instead, he just smiled a gentle, knowing smile. Let me tell you a story, he said softly. Imagine two men standing at the base of a great, towering mountain. They both share the same goal, to reach the summit. The first man looks up at the steep, rocky path, feels the chill in the air, and says, Wow, that looks incredibly difficult. The incline is too steep, and I'm not feeling my best today. I'll come back and try tomorrow when conditions are better. The second man also looks up at the same steep path. He too feels the cold and acknowledges the challenge. But instead of turning back, he says to himself, This is tough, but I will take just one step now. And so he did. It was a small, almost insignificant step. The next day, the first man found another reason not to climb. But the second man came back and took another step, and another the day after. The first man, always waiting for the perfect day, never even left the base. The second man, one small step at a time, eventually stood victorious at the top. Arav listened, but the lesson hadn't quite clicked. He furrowed his brow, confused. I'm not sure I understand what that has to do with my problems, he said. The mentor's smile widened. Arav, he explained, your excuses are like stones you put in your backpack before you even start climbing. I don't have time. That's a stone. I don't have money. That's another stone. I'm too tired. A heavy one. Every time you make an excuse, you add another stone to your pack. The heavier your backpack becomes, the slower you move. Eventually, if you keep adding stones, the weight becomes so great that you convince yourself you can't even begin the climb. You will never reach your destination, not because the mountain is too high, but because your backpack is too heavy. In that moment, something shifted inside Arav. It was like a light bulb turning on in a dark room. He suddenly saw himself standing at the foot of his own mountain, weighed down by a backpack overflowing with the stones of his own excuses. He realized that for months, he hadn't been a victim of circumstance. He had been the one adding the weight, stone by stone. He was the reason he was standing still. That single conversation was the turning point. That very day, Arav made a conscious decision. He decided to put down his backpack of excuses, one stone at a time. He knew he couldn't throw them all away at once, but he could start. He decided to stop waiting for the perfect moment, for a surge of motivation, or for all his problems to magically disappear. He committed to taking one small, simple action every single day, no matter what. Instead of saying, "I don't have time to write a business plan," he said, "I will spend just 15 minutes today brainstorming one idea." Instead of, "I can't afford that course," he found a free tutorial on YouTube and watched it. When he felt tired, he reminded himself of the second mountain climber and took just one tiny step forward, reading a single page of a book or sending one email. It wasn't glamorous. There were no sudden dramatic changes, but it was consistent. Action became his new habit, replacing the old habit of making excuses. Slowly but surely, months later, Arav looked back and was astonished. His life had begun to change in remarkable ways. That business plan was now a real, tangible document. He had acquired new skills that made him more confident. He wasn't at the summit of his mountain yet, but he was higher up than he had ever been before. He was moving. He realized the profound truth his mentor had shared. Excuses only ever delay you, but action, even the smallest of steps, always moves you forward. So, what about you? What stones are you carrying in your backpack? What's the one excuse you tell yourself most often? The moral of this story is a powerful call to action for all of us. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment because it will never arrive. The perfect moment is now. Your life, your dreams, your potential will only begin to change when you decide to take full responsibility, put down the stones, and start taking action today. Not a giant leap, just one small step. What's the one small step you can take right now after watching this video to move closer to your goal? Don't just think about it. Do it. Thank you so much for joining us for this story. If it inspired you to take action and drop an excuse or two, please consider hitting that subscribe button. We share simple stories like this every week, filled with powerful lessons to help you on your journey. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Thank you for watching, and remember, your journey starts with a single step.